So we're going to jump right in, just pivoting off of the last topic, because I think it would be awkward not to just open with this. So I've been pretty consistent about my distrust of unnamed sources. I said I thought the timing of the Atlantic article was suspect, alleging that the president mocked U.S. soldiers killed in battle and that he opted to skip a visit to a veteran cemetery out of concern that the rain would mess up his hair. My first instinct was to question the reporting, and then you actually went on record saying that he has, quote, the greatest amount of respect for the men and women of our armed forces. And the problem, as I said before, is that the president has a consistent history and pattern of saying incendiary things about people like my father, about people like the Khan family, about people like Colonel Vindman. And if this charge had been leveled anonymously against any other politician, I think people would second guess it. But because it's about someone who has this kind of record of insulting veterans, people tend to believe it, which is why I think it has legs. So I just want your perspective on it. And I want to know if you understand my and other people's perspective on it. And look, it may not matter. He got a big chunk of the veterans vote in the last election. He could very well do it again. But I think character and principle in this still matter.
Absolutely. And after spending nearly every single day for 2.5 years next to the president, I can tell you I witnessed firsthand the president's respect and admiration for the men and women of our armed forces. I literally traveled all over the world with him. I sat in the room in the Oval Office when the president called to offer condolences to parents whose son had been killed in the line of duty. That takes a toll on a person. The president did that, and I watched that, and I saw his heart in those moments. I also saw him overseas make us take a separate stop when we were going to stop at 2 o'clock in the morning and wanted to visit the troops. They said, sir, you don't have to get off the plane, stay here. Said, we're not landing at an air base and not getting off and saying thank you to the men and women who have served. I watched him time and time again. And on the instance that is written about in the Atlantic, I was one of the few people that were in the room. I'm not an anonymous source. I'm going on the record, and I'm telling you it didn't happen. That's not who this president is, and that's not how he feels about the men and women who serve in our military.